first day of camp question. Who surprised you out there? Who looked good out there?
Everyone. Ron is still sharp as ever. AD moving well, covering ground, being a stalwart on defense. Everybody, man. Everybody's engaged, locked in. D-Lo played really well today. You know, all of our main guys are new guys. Gabe, Torian, just the tenacity, the athleticism, the speed. Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, like we're really blessed to have the type of roster we have. And, you know, we've been putting in some work and having those returning players, you know, help us, collaborate with us to communicate what we're trying to do on both sides of the ball. It just speeds up the process. And you see everybody listening, engaged, you know, seeking the information, embracing the information, and trying to apply it during practice.
How do you handle Austin Reeves, knowing he put in some extra work during the offseason?
I mean, just you have to be careful. You know, again, we get on the same page. Rob, myself, Roger, Ed, you know, our performance team, and come up with a good plan. And he participated in a good part of practice, but obviously there's things we have to be careful with.
What's the plan, if you know it yet, with your big guys, particularly the veterans, LeBron and AD, through the games for the preseason? Like, how much?
I mean, we're just taking things one day at a time. Once we have to cross that bridge, we'll cross it. But, you know, we communicate well with one another. So at some point here in the next couple of days, we'll figure something out.
How much scrimmage do you guys do?
There's a fair amount. We have some transition drills that we do against our coaching associates. We also do a lot of control stuff. We did some one-on-one stuff, defensive stuff, breakdowns. So fair amount of competitive one-on-one, 3-on-3 to 5-on-5.
There was last year you're building a foundation, culture, and all that stuff. How different was it today having these basically the core of this team together from the trade deadline?
I mean, you could just see the vertical alignment. You know, there's no. Everyone just has a focus and a great energy and great spirit, and you can see it through and through from all of the people that support our group. You know, again, the performance team, media team, everybody, all the way down front office, coaching staff. Everyone just has a great spirit about the potential we have, and to see it, everyone together competing and working. I mean, the sky's the limit. I feel like every day we just can't skip any steps. Every day we got to come with that same focus. And it's going to be hard because obviously first day of training camp, everybody's hyped, a little nervous energy, but everybody's excited to be around each other. And eventually you'll get into the dog days. So we have to keep the focus about extracting something good out of each and every one of these sessions. So I think the overall spirit in the building is phenomenal.
What have you found the best way to build training camp day one through? Guys, now your first game is on Saturday, but how do you try to build it without pushing them too hard, then pushing them just far enough?
Well, you don't try to build Rome in a day. I mean, you target maybe one or two things offensively, one or two things defensively to work on, and you just stay there. And we're going to have plenty of time to really get more detail with our offense, more detail with our defense, different counters and all of that stuff on both sides of the ball. But today it was just a matter of creating a skeleton, so to speak, and eventually that skeleton will have meat on its bones. But right now it's just laying a foundation of competitiveness, playing together, commit to the trust for one another on both sides of the ball, and to water that right here and now before we start literally getting into the intricacies of what we're doing on each side of the ball. Totally. Both Brian and AD are like coaches on the floor. I mean, D-Lo's a high-level thinker out there. Gabe, what he brings, that seriousness, that IQ, that competitive force. Everyone, you can just see everyone chopping it up. Austin's on the sidelines talking to the young guys as they come off and they get subbed and out of the scrimmage. It's a group effort. It's a group effort. It has to be that way. All of us communicate. I told them, the more we communicate, collaborate on trying to get the right information and execute it the right way, the better off we be, and it'll happen at a pretty swift rate. our business. Everything was high intensity today. It wasn't any drop off. I'm not trying to win a tough man contest. We win 2 a day. We need everybody to be healthy and available for as long as possible. So we jump right into it. Everything is timed. We move one drill to the next, to the scrimmage. Sprinkle in water breaks in between those sessions of whether it's a breakdown drill or all-out scrimmage. And we try to be as efficient as possible and get the highest level of performance during these training sessions.
Is some of that the fact that you've had a lot of guys throughout the offseason at the mini camp, and some of that just the change in the NBA, like the way things are approached?
Totally. I mean, we were working within the rules last year. And this year, you know, obviously, as you mentioned, guys have been in here in August, September, working on not just throwing up shots at the rim, but actually working on this stuff. And their individual workouts or their combo workouts. And so we feel like we're ahead of the curve a little bit. So we're excited. It was a good day today.
Was everybody healthy and available?
Yes, everyone was healthy and available.
Coach, what have you seen from Christian Wood at the early onset?
Say that one more time.
What have you seen from Christian Wood thus far?
Just his attention to detail. He wants to be elite defensively, and he was one of the main voices you heard when we were going pick and roll defense, when we, you know, in the breakdown, in the scrimmage. His ability to switch and sit down in the stands and try to keep the guards in front, rebounding, blocking shots. And he was truly, truly extremely engaged on the defensive side of the ball.
You said good picture of this detail line. What does that look like in the practice like today?